Hey class, very happy to be with you today for a few minutes and just talk about salesperson evaluation, the process to make this an effective tool. So here's a few thoughts as we go through it. So first thing, I built this shell for you. In the past, I had students try to build something on their own, and I've learned that this shell just helps improve the quality. And so you at least have somewhere to start. I do have some students that go out into sales positions and they become a manager pretty quick, or they're actually currently a manager now, and maybe it's a startup company and they have to build these on their own or think through this process. So I think this is a good tool to use or to have in your, as you go into industry. So, all right, so what you're going to do with this tool. So you're going to update the company name where you're currently working. If you're not currently working, you'll go ahead and you'll type in the name of where you want to work upon graduation. You'll next hit the position title. This should be a sales position at your current company, or it would be a sales position title of where you want to land once you get done with your degree. So, and then the name, that wouldn't be your name. That would be the name of the person you're evaluating. But for this scenario, just go ahead and put your name here like you're being evaluated. So a good evaluation tool, there's many different techniques, processes. This is no hard rule that this is a perfect way to do it, but this will give you some good techniques to use for assessment and evaluation. So I think there's three major parts of a good evaluation, especially for salespeople. You want something that measures sales performance. This would be, how well they're doing with total deals sold, the percentage of their clients or their opportunities that they're closing. These type of things are total revenue in a quarter. So this would be something that they're going to be able to measure with quantitative numbers. All right. Then I'm also thinking after the sales skills part, you're going to have another part that's like people skills. How good of an employee are they? Are they a good coworker? Are they a good team member? Do they come on time to work? So this is personal expectations of being an employee at a company. All right, then the third part that might be the most important is the action items for next quarter. So say that someone was struggling with their conversion or their closing rate. I just wanted to give you an example in the spreadsheet I give you of how I would work on this if I was a manager, or when I was a manager, or how I actually worked with my people. And I thought about someone that I worked through to become a better closer. So we set a goal, the action item, to raise a conversion to 50%. We're going to start every call new. So I, as the sales manager, knew the issue. This certain employee was having an issue that when they didn't close 3 or 4 deals in a row, they would get panicked and they would speed up on their next sales call and they would skip important steps. So we knew if we could fix that, just go for a quick walk in between different appointments, this would help the process. And then also what I knew with this employee, they were closing or asking for the deal maybe 60 or 70% of the time. The other times they would just kind of wait for the customer to close the deal. So I knew that if we could set the goal for this individual to close on every call, that it would include, or it would increase that conversion / closing rate. So manager is going to check in every week for how these action items here are doing. Then we're going to measure at the end of the quarter at 50% or higher. So how often do we assess our people? This is more of an AE role that I built here where I'm measuring them quarterly. I think that'd be pretty reasonable. If it was more of a beginning role, an SDR or a BDR, maybe you measure them every month. Every week seems like a little bit too much of micromanagement for someone who's been around a while. Maybe for a new person that would make sense. Once again, you got to make it work for your organization and your people. So just hitting the different parts of this and what you're going to do. Once again, you change here, you change here, put your name here. You're going to pick the 4 different things in your current role that you would think are most important for sales skills. So once again, or the role you want. And then you're going to put the goal. So you're going to come here, you're going to space this out, put the goal and the quantitative measure for all 4 of these. Down here, you're going to do the same thing for personal expectations. I'm actually fine if you leave the 2s here with this rubric that's being used. But what are the 4 things that are most important for personal expectations? Like, for example, in your organization, maybe attendance is important. Maybe it's more of a remote position where it's more of a, you just got to make sure to hit your deals. This is specific based on your organization, or once again, you'll make this up a little if you're not currently employed and you're putting for where you want to work. Now, obviously, there could be a scenario this has just been built. What if I need more than 4? Yeah, insert. I would then insert a couple rows. Maybe if I went to 8, I would have a weight of 12.5% for each rather than 25. Maybe if I have 5 here, I'd go to a weight of 20% each. I could just change it here and then it would still figure it out for me. So not going to do any of that here. And if you want to keep it simple for this assignment, just choose the 4 most important in each of these areas. I'm fine with that. I just wanted to recognize in the real world, it's not always that linear, and you may need to update and make changes based on your current team needs and your current person needs for that matter as well. So kind of cool. So you'll change these, you'll change this, you'll change this. Then I say in the assignment details just to mess around with this a little bit so you can see, let's say they close 40%, get $400 per deal or per opportunity. Total revenue, they bring in 180,000, but they have a super high quality score. That was a measure that we used where we would actually send some of our calls out to an external company to score on ethics, sales flow. And so it was a quantitative measure that we would get back to make sure that they weren't crossing lines and or they were hitting this important steps of the sales cycle. So once again, as you can see, I've just done some conditional formatting with this. Green, orange, red. That's kind of a burnt yellow, I guess. But yeah, it just shows, are we excelling in it? Is there improvement that's needed? So you could do the same thing down here. Yeah. I'm not going to go all the way through this, but you can see, yeah, it will still measure that out. So pretty straightforward assignment. I just wanted to get you thinking about employee evaluation, have at least a reference to go off. And then when you went into your sales position, especially if you're called into a sales management position, where you do have the freedom to evaluate your employees the way that you think is best for their personal growth, that you at least had this in the toolbox to get going. So with that, have a little fun with this assignment. Should be pretty straightforward from here, and hope you have a great day.